Hi, this is Yavi here. I really enjoy getting your feedback, and because of that, I am creating a course you have been asking for, designed especially for managers and aspiring managers. Hardcore soft skills for managers includes modules for launching a team, improving your communication skills, techniques to collaborate and motivate your team, dealing with conflicts, and creating a culture of improvement. The course will launch soon, so go to my website, hardcoresoftskillspodcast.com/courses to reserve yours. Now, onto the episode. Steve Jobs, the American inventor best known for founding Apple, once said, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that there are." This is such a big challenge, especially if you work in a field serving customers where you may believe you don't have the luxury to say no to requests. However, oftentimes your success will depend on just saying no. But how do you know when is it okay to say no? And how can you say no without upsetting people? I'll show you a framework for saying no. Let's listen. Hi, this is Yavi Caro, and welcome to the Hardcore Soft Skills Podcast. I am an organizational psychologist practitioner and coach for tech and project teams. And in each episode, you will learn how to apply essential skills because I believe soft skills make hard skills work. So, the framework I want to share with you today is the 4 W's and 1 H. And as you may know, is who, what, when, why, and how. I will explain this from a perspective of a work setting. However, you can apply the same framework in non work settings as well. Let me be clear on one thing. I am a yes person. I am always open for new opportunities, even if I do not have a solution yet. I invite you to do the same, as saying yes will open many doors. But oftentimes we may work beyond our capacity, and this is when this framework will help you define what to say no to. Okay, so let's get started. First, who is making the request? If it's a very important customer, like a company leader, saying no may not be an option. If it's a colleague, then it depends. Do you have the time among other priorities? And by priorities, I mean things that need to get done now and are important to complete to achieve big goals. So, knowing who is making the request and their influence or importance on your work like a key customer is critical. Next, define the what. What is this request really about? Before immediately shutting down a request, get the person to define what they really need. They could be operating under the misunderstanding that they need a complicated solution, which will take months, but in fact, their request is quite simple and you may not need to say no. Or the opposite might happen, and what they consider to be a quote unquote quick favor will take a lot of time and resources outside of what you can offer. So understand the what so you can assess if it's within you or yours or your team's capacity. Another question to ask yourself to help determine yes or no is to define the why. Why is this request coming up? Is it to support an important project? Or is this a nice to have type of project or a request? Determining the why will define the need for the request and whether or not you should reprioritize against your current activities. Now, it's time to define the when. When is it needed by? In any busy, constantly evolving workplace, the response will likely be, "I need this as soon as possible." But in reality, the request may not be an emergency. Asking when involves knowing when is needed, not when the person wants it. Lastly, assess the how. Based on what you've gathered so far, how is this possible? How does it support your defined priorities and goals? How can you get this done with the resources you have? If you are a manager, this is when you consult your team to assess complexity. You can give them the whole picture as you know why someone made the request, what is it, why is it needed, and when. Once you've used this framework, who, what, why, when, and how, You'll have better clarity when assessing and validating the request, and be better able to recognize if you or your team will be able to complete this request on time, or if it's simply not aligned with what you do or where you are looking to go or to achieve. You will be able to answer yes, no, or not now. If the answer is no, make sure to politely explain why you cannot accommodate the request. Don't just say, I don't have time. Be more specific. You can describe the other priorities requiring your attention, or explain that the request doesn't match the team's current vision, mission, your values. Feel free to just keep it very brief. You don't have to go into details or have a lengthy conversation about it. You can, however, try to direct that requester to a possible solution. You can give them other resources or lead them to someone who can help. This shows you care about their request and demonstrates you do care about solving problems. When you're not afraid to say no, you can focus on solving the right problems, giving you and your team long term success. So let me know what you think about this framework and the solutions I gave you today. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you need help with saying no, prioritizing, or achieving higher productivity for you or your team, I'll be happy to help. Go to my website, Hardcore Soft Skills Podcast/courses, to find out offerings I have available to help you and your team. Thank you for listening.